Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to a new video. So I figured it'd be a good time to talk about my 2015 GSXR750 since I have actually had it for 5 full years now. So this is her in all of her glory. So like I said, it is a 2015 GSXR750. I've done quite a few things to it. I'll kind of go over the things that I've done to it and my reliability with it. Like I said, I bought this thing brand new in 2016. It is a 2015. It was a leftover model. It was actually the cheapest one on the floor, and I was really stoked about that. I went to go get an R1, and when I got there, I wasn't really that happy with it. And I test rode a 2013 or 2012 750, and I fell in love with it. So this is it. Performance wise, it does have an M4. It has the M4 slip on. I still have the cat. I'm really not gonna, I don't think I'm ever gonna cut the cat off of it. I just really don't see much point. This bike has like 130 horsepower stock. Honestly, you can break every speed limit in the entire country in first gear, so I really don't see much more need for performance. So Heather got me this, I want to say this is made by M4 also. It's a carbon fiber heat shield. We have, so if you didn't know already, my wife has a 2017 GSXR 750 also. She used to have a Ninja 650. She rode mine and she fell in love with it. So now she has a 750 as well. So we pretty much have most of the same mods. So Shogun frame sliders, Puig engine covers, rear sets are still stock. I like the fact that Suzuki makes these adjustable from stock. We have Spiegler braided brake lines, front and rear. As you can see, these come with absolutely amazing Brimbos in the front. Absolutely phenomenal stopping power. We have some Ride It levers. I pretty much always go to the Pro Grip 724s for grips on any motorcycle I've ever owned for like the past probably 8-9 years. Let's see, Stomp Grip tank pads, carbon fiber rear seat cowl. We're running Q3s on these, Q3 Plus, the newer version. These have just recently come off the track. They do absolutely phenomenal on these bikes. Lots of grip, just great tires all around. Okay, so Fender Eliminator Kit, I actually just took parts of a Honda Grom, put it on there. If you're wondering why I only have one passenger peg, people sometimes ask me, they're like, you know, you're missing a passenger peg. I usually tell them that I have an amputee wife, so her right leg is gone. You know, not a funny joke, but I'm just kidding. I don't tell people that. So I only have the left one on there for staggered wheelies. You know, obviously the track, I don't want to take both of them off, so I usually just leave the one on when I'm riding the street. And don't do wheelies on public roads, okay? So go out and at least find you a private place. Look at that Lambo? Wow, people got money around here. So let's see, CRG, bar and mirrors. I think these are called the blind side or blind sight mirrors. They're 2-inch. Let's see what else. I don't know what else I've done to it. Just a little carbon fiber Suzuki little pad there. Salty key tag. You can pick that up in my description. This is actually leftover rim tape. I just wrapped it around there. Thought it looked kind of cool, so I left it. I actually did it as a funny joke for the track because everybody always says that like I have way too much high vis going on, which I don't think I have too much. I think they're just messing with me. I don't really know what else I've really done to it. Not a whole lot. This bike has just been a great bike. Like I said, I've had it for 5 years now. Shogun rear spools. I don't think I've really done a whole lot to it, honestly. It's just been a great bike. My kickstand sensor did fail me at the track. Caused me to miss like two laps of my last session. Not a big deal. Something I should have been watching out for anyway, but I just wasn't. So like I said, I've had this bike for 5 years. Reliability. This bike has been absolutely phenomenal. OEM battery, still running on the OEM battery. everything basically besides the exhaust and the chain and sprockets and tires is still stock. I haven't had to do anything to it engine wise. You know, knock on wood, this bike's just, it's got like 31,000 miles on it roughly. You know, we don't ride like every day. We are basically like weekend warriors. We take them to the track, we ride them really hard at the track, I will say that. I mean, compared to street riding, these bikes go through their paces at the track. But other than that, like, I don't think I've had to do anything to this bike whatsoever. I have changed the spark plugs. I changed the spark plugs at like 18 or 20,000 miles, somewhere around there. The engine coolant is swapped out for engine ice. I run 300V Motul full synthetic oil on both of our bikes. I do countless amount of wheelies on these bikes, and still on the OEM fork seals, haven't had any issues with that. The suspension with these stock is a little bit light for my weight. I'm like 180, so I did have to tune the suspension a little bit. Other than that, like, I really haven't had to do anything to it. So let's hop into a little ride and we'll talk about it a little bit more. All right, so just put my gear on, and I gotta say, like, I've had this bike for 5 years. Every time I look at it, I just love it. I just had to say that. So I just set it up here, up on the frame sliders for a little photo op real quick. So I had a little photo op there real quick, because, you know, I gotta get the thumbnail. So okay, let's just get that out of the way. No more wheelies. Okay, good deal. So like I said, I've had this bike for, you know, 5 years now. The reliability on it has just been phenomenal. I really haven't had a single issue with it, aside from, like I said, the kickstand sensor went off on me once. That was because a bolt was loosened enough to allow the kickstand sensor to come out of place. Not a big deal, you know, tighten the bolt back up. 5 minutes later, I'm ready to roll again. So like I said, Heather, she rode mine back in like 2000. I want to say she rode mine in like 2016 or something like that, and she fell in love with it, and like a year later ended up buying her own 2017 GSXR750, which I will put a picture of that up right now. So yeah, I gotta say, like, this bike, some people will tell you that you should get it at 1,000, and I'm here to tell you, do not. No, I'm just kidding. Like, you can get a 1,000, but you have to be very self-controlled if you're gonna buy a 1,000, because these bikes are absolutely powerful. Even 600, you know, I can do what I do on this bike on a 400 for reference on the street. You know, on the track, maybe not so much. I'm hitting higher speeds on the track. But as far as like street riding, like, I would say like a 300 or a 400 is probably more than enough power for anything you're ever going to do on the street. But yeah, aside from that, the 750 is just super powerful. If I were to do it again, if just say something happened to this bike and I needed a new bike, and I went to the dealership and they didn't have a 750, I would get a 600. I mean, honestly, I just don't really feel like I need to pay the extra money for the extra power that I'm probably never going to use. Like I said, this bike can do 86 in first gear. I can break every speed limit in the entire United States in first gear on this bike. It's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody really needs a 1,000. Nobody really needs a 750. But that's the beautiful thing about America. We can have things that we really don't necessarily always need, but we want, you know? So yeah, I've been riding for, I don't know, 10, 12 years now. And I've owned multiple bikes. I think this is my 8th or 9th bike that I've owned. And I came from a 1000. Keep that in mind. I had a Ninja 1000, not the ZX10. I had the Ninja 1000 like sport touring bike, but still a very powerful bike. You know, not nearly as powerful as the ZX10, but a very, very powerful bike nonetheless. So this is great. Sometimes you get stuck behind traffic and it's a great thing because you're vlogging and you really don't need to go that fast. So yeah, let's see what else. I don't think I've really done, I'm trying to think of things I've done to them, and I really don't think I've really covered everything that I've done to it. But this is not a modification video. This is more of a why you should buy a 750. No, not really, but this is just my experience. Like I said, I've had the bike for just over 5 years. I bought it in April. I bought it actually on April 1st of 2016, and when I posted it on Instagram, people thought it was an April Fool's joke. Which is funny because, like, I don't know, why wouldn't I buy it? It's just a beautiful bike. Like, just I love this 750 so much that if someone were to offer me right now a GSXR1000 or a GSXR750, like at no cost, like, hey, you want a bike, this is what you get to choose, a 750 or 1000, I would most likely take the 1000 and sell it and buy a 750 and then spend the extra like $3,000–4,000 on modifications. Sorry, Suzuki, that's what I would do. I just don't really see much use. I've ridden the GSXR 1000. I've ridden the 600s. Honestly, the 600s are, I would say, pretty on par with the 750, aside from they don't have that low end torque. But I've ridden the GSXR 1000, I've ridden the R1M, I've ridden the CBR 1000. That bike was a beast. I will say that bike's probably my favorite 1000 if I were to go to a 1000. But yeah, I really don't think you can go wrong buying a GSXR. Like, these bikes are just tried and true. They are reliable bikes. They are amazing. If you guys ever get the chance to watch the Revzilla video where they take a brand new Ducati and like I want to say it's like a K5, which is a 2005 GSXR 1000 that they bought on Craigslist for like $3,000, and they compete the two on the track, no modifications aside from putting new tires on both bikes. And it's Ari Henning and Zach Kortz from Revzilla, and they at first they race, you know, they do lap times, GSXR's on top, so they're like, all right, we'll swap bikes, you know, maybe it's the rider. They swap bikes. The other guy, now riding the GSXR 1000, now beats the other guy's lap time faster than the brand new Ducati. I'm like, dude, like, if this doesn't tell you that Suzukis are just like, they're just phenomenal bikes. I mean, Jap bikes in general, I know that's not really politically correct, but Japanese manufactured motorcycles are, honestly, in my opinion, they are absolutely superior to all other bike manufacturers, and that's just my humble opinion. I don't see myself ever going away from Japanese manufactured motorcycles. They're just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, for the price, you cannot beat them. Like, hands down, you can't. So, alright guys, I'm going to stop rambling on about why you should buy a Japanese manufactured motorcycle. If you're thinking about buying a 750, I say ride it. They're ergonomically very comfortable. They're just phenomenal, in my opinion, and I'll say that a million more times, I'm sure. But thanks for riding with me today, guys. Peace, ride safe, and we'll see you in the next one.